When we first start out learning guitar, almost all of us learn the basic few open chords. You get something like a G, maybe a C, A minor, D. And you can play those chords and sing along with them, maybe mix them up, play it in a different order, but it's going to get pretty boring pretty fast. And you're going to go searching for bar chords and all kinds of different stuff, maybe slap a capo on the guitar and just play those same things in a different spot. But I'm here to tell you that you can make all that a lot more interesting and have more things to do without learning a single new chord. Let's talk about that, and welcome to Music with Marky. So how can I make this interesting and not learn any new chords? Well, it's because all the information is contained in the chords that you already know. And I'm kind of supposing here that you know this stuff, that you're far enough along on your beginner journey that you do know these open chords, the basic G, the basic C, A minor, and D. And so what we're going to do with these is take and use the notes from the other chords and mix them in with each other. So I have, for instance, this G chord, and I can take that chord and mix in pieces of this C chord into the G chord and make something wholly new that I can play around with. So I'm going to lift off this finger here. I do this a lot with the G chord. I don't tend to play the A string, the fifth string of that chord. I usually just leave it muted by having the finger kind of rest on it here, and then the rest of it. And that frees up this finger to do this other stuff. I'm going to play the first two fingers of the C chord and mix it with the G. I can put it on, take it off. And now I've got something that I can use as an embellishment and adornment to a G chord. I can do it if I'm picking. And in fact, I can even take this note here, the A, from the A minor chord that was in the progression. So I've got this whole A minor chord. If I want to use that note too and mess around with some plucking type of stuff, now it's going to take a little bit of practice and dexterity to get those things down, but not as much as you would think because you already know how to play this C chord. You're just mixing that C chord with this G chord. And this same idea applies to all of your other chords as well. I can go, if I go to that, from that G to the C chord, I can lift notes off, I can put them back on. All these notes from the G chord apply to the C chord as well when you're playing them in a progression where they're in the same key like this that we've done. And I can lift off. And I can add this note here. With my pinky, where did I get that note from? That D, the 3rd fret, 2nd string? Well, I got that from the D chord in the progression that we were playing. Remember, we had a G, C, A minor, D. So that note there also works. The G from the G chord. I'm adding notes from other chords. Let's do it again. We'll do it with the A minor chord. We know that we can take that off because that's the top of the C chord. We can add that D. We can add the G on the E string. Subtracting based on notes from the other chords. And again, we can do it with the D chord, the last one here. So we've got your basic D chord. I know that I can add the G note. I can add my pinky in. I can lift this finger off. I can even lift this finger off because we know that that note, the open E, is good from the A chord and the C chord. So we can do. So you have an entire world of embellishments to each chord just by using notes that you know work from the other chords in the progression. And I'm ending that G by playing a slightly different G using notes that I got from the D chord. So I hope this gives you some cool ideas, whatever progression you're playing. If the progressions fit together and you're making a song out of them, anytime you have chords that all fit together, those chords can borrow notes from the other chords in the same progression. So this concept works with a capo on, with bar chords. If you're playing something, if you're up to the point where you're playing bar chords and you've got, say, an A and a D, just that these two notes here that you got from the D bar chord you can find ways to add these notes in and see if they work and embellish your chords, again, by borrowing from the other chords. So I hope that all made sense to you guys. And if you have any questions or comments or anything you need me to clarify, please leave that in the comments below. I'm always happy to get back to everyone as soon as I can. And until next time, keep making great music. Hey friends, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications. It makes the whole world better.